guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today is the first day that I've filmed in so long and I'm raring to get back into it. And today I wanted to start things back off again by doing a contouring video, and this goes out to my good friend Alicia who requested this. So contouring can seem like something that's so complicated to do in the makeup realm, and I know that it can seem like you have to do this and that, and oh, there's so much to remember, and there's cream and there's powders and what's best for you. And the answer is really that it's individually what suits you best. And today all I want to do is demystify some of the complications around it and try to make it as simple as possible for you. So let's get into the video. For me, I like to try and simplify this into 4 steps. So step 1 is doing your base. So let's get cracking into that. Today I'm going to use one of my favourite foundations that never fails me, and that's the Urban Decay All Nighter Foundation, and I'm in shade 3.0. I do think I actually need a new shade in this though. I do think it's a little bit dark, but it's going to work for today's purpose. Now I'm taking my MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in NW15 to conceal underneath my eyes and brighten up areas of my face. I'm just using a flat Morphe brush to do this. This is the start of your highlighting process. So for this, I'm going to conceal this darkest corner in my eye, and I'm going to drag this down the side of my nose and up past my eye towards my temple. This will create a lifted effect in the eye. I'll also do a little bit on my forehead just to balance things out once we've got some contouring down the sides. I'm going to drag this down the middle of my nose to make it appear a little bit slimmer. Again, I'm going to repeat that on the other side. So I'm concealing this darkest corner in my eye, dragging the concealer down the side of my nose, and then I'm going to create another triangle which heads up towards my temples. And just like we did on the forehead, I'm going to add a little bit on my cheek. And then taking my sponge and blending all this out. Everything's all nicely blended out, you're ready to move on to the next step. Step number 2 is to cream contour. While you've still got all the creams and they're not set on your face, you want to make sure that you do your cream contouring now before you set your face. So for my contouring today, I'm going to use the Urban Decay Shapeshifter palette. And I love this palette because it's got powders on one side, and then on the other side it's got all your creams. So it's all you could need for contouring in one palette. And I've already used Urban Decay on my face, so I'm just going to stick with the one brand today because I know they work really well together. So I'm going into, you can see how much I've used. This palette is so good. So I'm going into this brown, dark brown colour here. It does blend out beautifully, so don't be afraid of it. And I'm using this IT Cosmetics brush, which is like a mini kabuki brush, just to apply the product and in some cases blend it out. So like I said before, we're aiming for a 3. So you're going to want to contour your hairline across the top of your forehead. You're going to want to scoop it in underneath your cheekbone, and then you're going to round it out and around your jawline. And I'm just going to start by dragging some of this product along my forehead. I'm not looking to blend it out at this point, I'm just simply applying it. And when you're doing your cheekbone, you can kind of see, like on my cheekbone you can see it's quite defined. So we're going to go from the top of the ear and we're going to follow that down. But if you can't see your cheekbone, Never fear, we've all got different bone structures and they're all just as beautiful as each other. If you need a helping hand, simply suck in your cheeks like a fish face that you would have done in primary school. And then I always go from behind the ear because otherwise you can sometimes get like a stark line that's very visible. And I'm going to follow my jawline. And so this is what we're left with at this stage. I'm just going to repeat that on the other side. Now I'm going to take the same Simply Essentials brush that I was using before. So what we're going to need to do is, if we drag this downward, we're going to be casting the shadow into this part of the face, whereas we want the most darkness to be where it is, where I've placed the product. And so we're going to want to flick it upwards rather than flicking it down. And there we have it. It's easy to blend and it doesn't take that long, so it's not overly complicated, and we've got a really nice finish there. So I'm going to move on to the rest. Contouring of the nose is, I had such a big fear about it for such a long time. I used to feel like I would do a really bad job, and I was very happy with my nose anyway, so I never really felt like I needed to, but I stepped out one day and gave it a go, and so I'll quickly do that for you now so that you can see what I get up to. I'm going to start with this naturally hollow where your nose and your eye socket meets, so just in this section just here, and I have not got much product on my brush at all, and sometimes I will only contour this one part of my nose because this alone can give such an amazing effect. And then I'm going to start, as you can see I'm already kind of moving there, I'm just dragging the excess product down the side of my nose. And I'm just slowly brushing that down the sides. And I'll repeat on the other side. And then we're left with quite a chiseled appearance. Obviously we don't want it to stay this chiseled, so the next step is to blend it out. I'll often use the same brush for this step. And I'm not going to sweep it up because we want this to be light. This strip down the middle of our nose is what we want light to feel like it's hitting. So instead we're dragging it away from where we want the light to hit, which is down the sides of the nose and further into this socket. Then what I like to do is take my sponge and run over the whole thing again. This helps to blend it out even further. And so now everything's blended out. You can just see that my face is a little bit more defined in its features. My cheekbones and my jawline look a little bit more chiseled. So does my nose, but everything's in perspective, so my forehead looks like it's been chiseled ever so slightly as well, so everything's got really nice dimension in it. The next step is to set everything in place. So for that I'm going to use my trusty Too Faced Ethereal Setting Powder, and I love this stuff. I'm not sponsored to say this by any means, my channel is far too small for that, but you can pick this up at Mecca and it is the best setting powder I've ever used. So highly recommend this stuff. So I'll use a small amount like this. I'm then going to take a little setting brush. This one is from Real Techniques, one of my other favourites. You can tell I'm using all my favourites in this video. And what I'm going to do is start by setting underneath my eyes. I already have a few wrinkles there, so I always crease no matter what concealer I use. So the first step for me is making sure I blend out those creases, and then I'm going straight in with the brush with product on it to set that area quickly. I'm leaving any excess powder that I've got underneath my eyes for now, and I'm going to move on to setting other areas of my face. And I'm just going to press the rest of that excess powder over the other areas of my face that I haven't set yet. And so now we're left with this really flawless base that's ready for any other powders that we're going to lay on top of it. And you guessed it, powder contouring is step number 4. So we're going to move on to that now. I'm going to take this Makeup Collectives contouring brush and I'm going to dip into this colour here, which is a little bit more on the cool tone side, so it's slightly grey in its undertones, whereas this one here is a lot warmer in its colouring. So we're going to start with this colour here first. And just pre-warning you, this palette is super pigmented in its colours and the powders, so just be really careful. You only need to tip your brush in and then tap off any excess. And again, we're going to follow the 3. So I'm going to start I'm going to follow that straight line from the corner of my ear down as though I'm going towards my smile. And just following the natural shape of your jawline. Be careful to blend this down your neck as well, because you don't want a harsh line. So here's a before and after comparison. This is just with cream contour and set, and this is with cream contour set and then a powder contour on top. And on to the other side. And so here is the powder contour completed. Last step in the powder contour is to highlight, and now the highlight in this palette is amazing. It's extremely blinding, so if you're not after a blinding highlight, it might not be the right one for you. In that case, you might want to use it just sparingly, but I'm all about the glow, so I'm going to go all out tonight. As you can see, I'm highlighting the tops of my cheekbones. Like I was saying earlier, you want to add depth to some areas of your face and you want to make other areas of your face pop. So that's what we're doing right now with the highlight. Highlight on the cheekbones is absolutely beautiful, but if you want to make sure it's all cohesive, then you want to highlight other areas of your face as well. So I'm going to take just a little bit more and I'm going to run this down my nose. Very lightly, because I don't want it to be overpowering. I'm also going to take a touch of this up my forehead, just above my brow on each side. Just a little bit on my chin as well. So as you can see, we've got a really nice glowing highlight there. And I've got a little bit more definition through my cheekbone, also through my jawline, and a little bit more through my forehead. And it's all really cohesive. Last but not least, I don't know about you, but I'm a blush addict. And I'm really in love with this one at the moment, which is Tender Blush in Nude Rose. And this is by Estee Lauder. Just adds a really nice blush to your cheeks. Really pretty. I'm going to head off now, finish the rest of my makeup, and I'll be right back. And so that's the completed look. I really hope that you've enjoyed this contouring video and that it's made it super simple for you, because contouring does not need to be a tricky beast. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are, so make sure you leave me a comment down below, and also make sure that you like the video and subscribe to my channel while you're here. You can do all of that just below this video. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I'd love to see you here next time, so looking forward to seeing you in my next video.